We're here to support our troops because every single day our troops support us. This has been true throughout American history. Every single day our troops defend our freedoms, stand up to aggression, and prepare a better future. We owe a debt of gratitude to them, and we're here to express that gratitude. We support the troops, we support their mission, we're for a strong and successful military. We're for a victory strategy in the war against terrorism. In the 20th century, we faced the enemies of fascism and communism. We prevailed through a strategy of aggressive deterrence. We responded to threats, we achieved military superiority, and when necessary, we used that strength as a force for good. Today's enemy, Islamic fascism, has many features that are similar to the enemies we faced in World War II and in the Cold War. But in today's world, weapons technology has become more lethal. Weapons more accessible to terrorists. Outlaw nations seek nuclear weapons. It's no longer necessary, as we know, for an enemy to rely on a massive army. A small group can cause great devastation, like on September 11th. It's important to remember who started this war. What we call the war against terrorism is really just our response to the war against America. They seek our destruction. They started this war, but we will finish it, we will win it. The best way to defend America is to be on the offense against terrorism, winning the war over there so they cannot bring the war over here again. And that is our troops' mission. I'm tired of those politicians who say they support the troops but not the mission. I support the firefighters and I want them to put out the fire. I support the police and I want them to catch the criminals. You cannot support the troops if you oppose the mission. It's a part of the war on terrorism, not a distraction. It's a war of necessity, not a war of choice. We have to deal with terrorism. We have to deal with its, not just its symptoms, but its root causes. The hateful ideology, the aggression, the brutality in the Middle East. They say Iraq has had nothing to do with 9/11. The whole Middle East has something to do with 9/11. The Middle East is tied to 9/11 by 1,000 threads of oppression and brutality. 20 some odd years ago, President Ronald Reagan said the following in his State of the Union speech, 1988, quote, "As the global democratic revolution has put totalitarianism on the defensive, we have left behind the days of retreat. America is again a vigorous leader of the free world, a nation that acts decisively and firmly in the furtherance of her principles and vital interests. No legacy would make me more proud than leaving in place a bipartisan consensus for the cause of world freedom, a consensus that prevents the paralysis of American power from ever occurring again." Unquote. Don't we need some people like Ronald Reagan? Don't we need his ideas? Don't we need his words? Unfortunately, we don't have that bipartisan consensus today. Many of our politicians, Jim McDermott, number one, retreats into defeatism, wrongly interprets the results of the elections. The American people, sure, we're impatient with the progress being made in the war, but we oppose defeat. We support the troops. We oppose cut and run. We oppose a cut-off of the funds. And let me conclude. In that same speech, Reagan said, 1988, "We've replaced blame America with look up to America. We've rebuilt our defenses, and of all our accomplishments, none can give us more satisfaction," Reagan said, "knowing that our young people are again proud to wear our country's uniform," unquote. Yes, our troops are proud to wear the uniform, and we are proud of our troops. Today, some of our politicians have gone back to blame America. They've lost hope in victory, and they accept defeat. How expensive would defeat be in terms of lives, resources, freedoms, and future security? How costly would defeat be? in strengthening terrorism around the world. Once again, we need to replace Blame America with Look Up to America. And there's no better way to look up to America than to look up to our troops. God bless you. Do not lose heart.